Hey everybody, it's Chris over at Dixieland Farm. This is take 3 of part 4. Isn't that interesting? So this is the meat of why we're here. How do we set up our speakers? Well, I have been researching and reading, and I have been very interested in one guy's video that was from Rocky Mountain Audio Fest. And the name of his lecture was That's Not Natural, and I'll have a link to that video. He was, I think, a Sumiko dealer at one point. Sumiko is a company that sells speakers, and all dealers of that speaker go through this training. And it's called the Sumiko Master Setup. They spend 3 days, they learn this setup. There is no fancy equipment to figure out where the speakers go, just the person's ears, and they teach the dealer what to listen for. And all Sumiko's speakers that are sold, the dealer comes to your house and sets them up. Sumiko speakers are very expensive. I'm sure you're not going to do that. Also, this guy who is no longer involved, he happens to do this setup. You can pay for him to come to your house. You can fly him from, I think, Denver, Colorado to your house. He used to have a paper on his website, I think, for free. Now it's $100. Okay. Online, I think it was on the AudioGone forums, was somebody who came up with the Iron Chef speaker placement. Interestingly enough, it is similar to the Sumiko setup. It uses the same song and similar setup procedure steps or whatever. Sumiko, it could be intellectual property, trademark. The Iron Chef is not. So we're going to say we're using the Iron Chef speaker placement setup. And also somebody kind of gave like a, well, all you kind of need to do is this if you want to get close enough, and I'll give you that. And that's what I ended up doing. Because, here's the theory. Your speakers in your room, you can't adjust your room in real life for perfect sound. Some audiophiles do, and you can see their speakers are really far away, and they've got like these little cable risers that they pay $200 for, basically just a little wooden dowel, and there's nothing in the room, and there's one chair, and they have a very lonely Citizen Kane life. That's not what most of you, 99% of you, are going to do. You have a real life, and the music room that you listen in is probably a room that you live in, like the living room. Here we are in the living room, and all living rooms have different things. Like my living room's got a built-in bookcase, and it's got windows on there, and it's got chairs over here, and it's got a lamp there, and it's got some tiles over there, and it's got my TV there, and it's got a picture up there, and all those things affect the way the sound works in this room. There are these vectors and reflections and nodes of where things are accentuated and not accentuated, and no matter where you are in this room, sound is doing all these crazy things, right? So the Sumiko, the Iron Chef speaker placement setup involves you starting with a neutral position. The speakers against the wall, flat, straight. Okay? And at least 2 feet away from the corners. So, this is not what you should actually listen to on a normal basis. Normally your speakers are a little more out, they're a little more toed in. But if you get anything out of this one long video, is that me reading about this and, learning about all the different reflections and whatever that's going on in a room, is the thing I got most out of it was to give up on the idea of symmetry. So you see a lot of setups and they're perfectly symmetrical. And because of the room and the reflection of a window there, and it's open on that side, and there's a table right here and a couch and all of those things, that you got to give up on the idea of symmetry. The speakers need to be where they need to be in the room to perform the best, and that may not be symmetrical. Give up on the idea of making it look like a picture that you have in your mind of the showroom or whatever. Your room is going to be different, and after I've gone through this setup, my speakers are not symmetrical, and my room sounds much better than it ever did. Okay, so speakers, flat, back of the wall. We're going to play a song from Rob Wasserman's duet CD called Ballad of a Runaway Horse. That song is picked. It's kind of a mono song. It's just a stand-up bass and a woman singing. That's it. And by using this one specific song, not a song that you love or whatever, it's helpful for this particular setup. Also, just like setting up a cartridge, if you rush through this, it's not going to be good. This should take you a long time. Setting up a cartridge should take you a long time. It should not take 5 minutes. It's probably going to take you setting up a cartridge, if you did it right, 20 minutes at least. And same thing with this. This should take like hours to do. That's just part of it. So, here we go. Speakers in the back, you're playing the song, and you're going to move just one speaker. And you're going to move that one speaker slowly out. Slowly. It's great if you have somebody else doing that for you. Look at my wrinkly hands. Ugh, that's winter. Slowly out until all of the sound is going to sound like it's coming from that one speaker. So it was in the middle. Hello, I'm singing. Well, now it's the speaker is the only sound. Even though this one is playing, you only hear sound out of that speaker. Mark the floor. That's the beginning of what's called a node. Keep moving the speaker, and eventually the sound's going to drop from that speaker and go back into the middle. Hello. Okay, mark that spot. In between that area is where you're going to be playing. And you can, again, move like a millimeter. You're listening for the sound of the bass to be even. The notes should sound similar in tone, volume. Okay, and that's going to take a while. And it might be a little left, a little right. And there's not just one of these areas in a room. So you mark the one that you like, and then you just keep going forward. You'll find another one, and another one, and another one might be over here and over there. And you're going to find the one with the most even of bass. Once you've found what you've liked, take the other speaker, and that one you're going to slowly move out. Right? So you're listening to the speaker where all the sound, even though this one's playing back there, all the sound like it's coming from here, right? Now you're going to start moving that other speaker until the sound starts coming into focus in the middle. Hello, hello, and same thing. You're going to, they may not be even. So that's the idea. Give up that symmetry idea. It may not be even. It may not be in the exact same spot, but you're going to do the exact same thing. Kind of find where it works the best. And once you got it, you'll know. That's the thing. You'll know. At least that's what I read. Because, again, I have not been able to accomplish that in this room. Some rooms you cannot do it in. If there's a rectangle, the best place for the speakers are not on the short wall but the long wall. Your room may be square. Your room may be octagonal. This didn't cost you anything except time. So you got time to play with this. And you can give up and you can come back another day and do it. And keep working on it. And that's what I've done. But anyway, now the sound's in the middle. Then you start working on the toe-in. What you want to do is now start listening to the singer's voice. The singer's voice doesn't sound like this big, wide voice singing, this big blob of nothing. It sounds like a human voice, which comes from one spot, the mouth. So as you're towing in the speakers, the sound should lock in and sound like a person singing right in front of you, right there. Okay? Once you get that, then there's the angle. You can tilt back the speakers, put some quarters, whatever. Because the person singing should sound like it's singing at a microphone. Not singing like it's all the way down here. Oh, it should be up here. So you adjust the angle until you get that sound stage to sound like a real person in front of you singing in a microphone and a person playing bass behind them. And all of a sudden, when you get this right, it'll sound like you're there. Now, shortcut version, which is what I did. See, this is the thing that was causing the problem. The built-in bookcase. So where's the back wall? The back wall, is it there or is it where the actual wall is? That's part of the problem. So, shortcut version is you do the exact same thing, right? We start from the back in the middle, the back, right? The speakers are against the wall, and you move out the speaker until all of a sudden, sound only sounds like it's coming from one speaker. Mark that spot. Find where it suddenly drops, and it sounds like it's in the middle again. Mark that spot. Put the speaker in the middle of that. You're done. That's it. You're done. Now start moving out that other speaker until it sounds like the sound is back in the middle where it belongs. And then adjust the angles and the tone as needed. What I found is that because of this open area over here and the glass, whatever, that my speakers are actually kind of look like this. They're not towed in like that. They one looks at me and then the other kind of looks away. And it's actually in reverse. It's actually like that, I think. Whatever. But by doing that, all of a sudden, the sound sounds like I can see with my eyes closed everything that's in the middle. Getting that mono signal right in the middle is the real thing you're trying to do with this. So even if you don't want to do any of this, that's what you're striving for. That if someone's singing, they don't sound like a wash of sound in between the two speakers. They sound like an actual person, an instrument. By doing that in front of my TV, if you close your eyes and you sit on my whole couch, it sounds like behind the TV, like you're looking slightly down at a little stage, and you can hear the person singing and the guitar, and as the instruments are playing, you can actually, even though it's mono, you can feel where that they exist in a specific space, back there. By going through all these setups, there is no sweet spot in the room. Your listening seat is the room. You've adjusted the speakers so they sound best in the room. So my goal was my wife and I hear the same thing. And by going through just this even short version, that is true. If I sit in either seats on the couch, the sound is the same. More important, if I tilt my head, the sound is the same. If you went through a proper Iron Chef setup, no matter where you are in the room, the sound would be the same. So, by spending a lot of time figuring out where the speakers belong in your room, you'll get that magic that you want. That's what you spend your time for. That's what you spend your money for, right? You want to sit down, you get to listen to music, and it's going to sound great. And this doesn't cost you anything, except a lot of time and some frustration, but it's free. And getting the speakers right in the room is a worthy thing to do. And once you do, it's amazing. That's it. So that's the end of part 4. I'm sure there could be a part 5. I'm sure there could be a part 20. But this is what I wanted to talk about. This is what I wanted to share with the vinyl community. I'm sure I've gotten plenty of facts wrong, but this is as I understand it. So go ahead and read about it online. There's plenty of threads out there. Long threads. I read 50, 60, 70 pages on some of these threads. On speaker setup, on lots of different forums. And what I just said could be wrong, and there could be a whole other type of setup, and there is. There's like I don't even know the companies. There's different ways of setting it up, but they're very symmetrical and setting up a sweet spot. And this is trying to get away from the idea of a sweet spot. So that's why I like this version a little bit better. Again, thank you so much for watching, everybody. 14 minutes long video. Hopefully it made sense. If it didn't, you want to talk about it? Well, we certainly have comments where we can further the discussion. That's why I'm in it. The VC, that is. I like talking to you guys. Okay, take care, everybody.